Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nina Torres, and it's a pleasure to be here with all of you. I'm really excited to be talking about financial aid, and also to just diving deeper into it, because first of all, this topic is really huge on my heart because it is being first in my family to go to college for undergrad, first in my family to go to college for grad school. I myself had challenges when it came to financial aid, and just also to understanding all the terminology, also to just navigating it all. So again, I really hope that today you all can just feel at the very end like fulfilled, and you had received all the resources that you needed. Again, all this information is going to be shared at the very end, or like a recap. I did create a QR code for all of you, which has a link tree with a list of all the resources. My main goal in the community always is being a resource to all my students that I currently work with or meet. And again, also to the parents, I just want to say thank you so much for everything you do, and also to the older siblings and just the guardians as well. Just thank you, because I think it really does take a whole village to raise a child. So I just want to thank each and every one of you for being here today, because I know financial aid discussion can be a lot, but we're going to get through this today, and we're going to walk out feeling that we have the resources that we need in order to move on to the next steps. So today's agenda, we'll be talking about the cost of college, FAFSA and the California Dream Act application, and grants and scholarships. So I chose these three topics today to talk about within our half an hour time, because this is, I believe, the most essential part when talking about financial aid. One, you're going to be applying to various schools, and I know that some of the schools may be like CSUs, UCs, privates. There's going to be an array of list of schools, and they're all going to cost differently, right? Some of you may want to be going out of state. Some of you may want to live at home. Some of you may want to move out of home and just get your first apartment, but stay in California. But again, what does the cost look like for all your schools? So second one is FAFSA and the California Dream Act application. I do want to really hone in on that, because FAFSA and California Dream Act application is going to be our application. We're talking about financial aid. So we're going to go deeper into that and looking into how to apply, where to apply, the deadlines, and what may be asked of us. And then lastly, we're going to talk about grants and scholarships. Free money. I mean, that is what we all want, right? We want free money. My goal is always, when I do presentations, is that I just always want to have students and parents walk away with something tangible and physical that they can walk away with and look into, and finding out, where can I get this free money? Because I know that's something that I often asked. Okay, so I know people have told me I can get free money. If I, for instance, my favorite color is pink. People have said that. And there's free money out there for you, but where do you look, right? Where is it? So we're going to talk about where to find it. So let's discuss sticker price versus net price. So college costs. So sticker price versus net price. And this, again, you're going to be hearing a lot of this terminology. Probably right now, you may be hearing it once you go to college, maybe hear from your peers, family members, in your community. Again, my goal as not only be a resource, but my goal also to as an advocate for college, for students around college access and college success, is always to just provide you the terminology, the definitions, and the resources, because that is the main goal of today. I'm going to be providing you informations and resources on where to find that information and resources, and next steps that you can take with your college counselor, next steps you can take as a whole with your student, for students, next steps for you all on what you all need to do in order to achieve your educational journey. So with that said, we're going to talk about sticker price. So the sticker price is the college's published cost of attendance. So the cost, the The cost of attendance you can find on your school's website. So let's, for example, I went to Cal State LA, and let's say you want to go to Cal State LA. Cal State LA, you can type in Google cost of attendance fall of 2022 to 2023. So if I got any seniors here, I know you'll be attending this college in fall of 2022. So you're going to put, again, cost of attendance, Cal State LA 2022 to 2023, because that's going to be your academic year. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. So that's, you find that on Cal State's website. Just click that. It's going to talk about now the difference in pricing when it comes to living on campus. So say on campus, the different prices of being a commuter, because Cal State is a commuter school. So students who live at home with their parent or guardian and commute to school for classes, and then living off campus. Off campus means you are living in like an apartment around the area, surrounding area of the college campus. So again, on campus would be the dorms. Commuter would be you're living at home with your parent or guardian, and you're just commuting to school on the days that you have class. And then the other one will be off campus, which is living in an apartment outside of the college campus, but you're fairly close. Then you're going to minus the grants and scholarships. Grants and scholarships are going to be gift aid. That is your free money. That is what we all want, right? Like I always tell students is that we got to continue to apply to scholarships, because the goal is to have little to no debt. And then that equals your net price. So that's the difference between the two. So let's dive deeper into cost of attendance. So cost of attendance, also known as COA, is the cost to attend one academic school year. So what does that mean? That's going to mean if you're attending a college that is a semester system, that'll be fall semester plus spring semester equals your academic school year. I know when I attended Cal State LA, it was a quarter system. Cal State LA is no longer a quarter system, is now a semester system. But some of your colleges may be quarter systems, and that means it's going to be your fall plus your winter plus your spring equals your academic school year. So again, cost of attendance is the cost to attend one academic school year. Direct costs. Direct costs are the costs that's paid directly to the college. This will be like your tuition and fees. This is going to be like your room and board. Your indirect costs are items that are not paid to the college or university, but are essential to your attendance. Now, what does that mean? So an example of indirect costs are going to be like books and supplies. It's going to be your transportation. It's going to be your personal expenses. Now we're going to go into like, what does that all include, right? So books and supplies I really want to go into, because I know many students have asked me like, okay, so my cost of attendance is X amount. I have my direct costs. You're telling me that's what's going to be, I'm be paying to the school. My indirect costs are essential to my attendance of school, because you do need books, right? You need supplies. And I want to really hone in on indirect costs, because that is what is, it's a little flexible, because if you are trying to work on your budget, and as I tell students always, it's all about budgeting for college. It's about budgeting. So if we're working on our budget, how can we bring the cost down a little bit? Well, that's going to be your indirect costs. So your books and supplies. So you do not have to buy new books. You can purchase used books. You can purchase rental books. You can purchase ebooks. So if you have a tablet, you can do ebooks. Like for instance, Amazon does ebooks. You can even do rental ebooks, which makes the cost even cheaper. You can do rentals, which is through Amazon. There's also another site called Chegg, where you rent the book and then you send it back. Also to supplies, I want to mention supplies can add up. And that's something that I did not realize when I was in college. And it is something that even though it could be like a $5 here, $1.25 here, it just adds up, because depending upon how many classes you're taking. So for myself, I was taking 4 classes one time in a quarter, and I had multiple tests. I had multiple essays to write. And of course, you need Scantrons for your exams. Also too, you need ink to print out your papers, or just print out different items that you need for class. So ink adds up. Ink's expensive. Also too, I know the like Scantrons, like for when I had went to school, it was $1.25 at the bookstore, but $1.25 times the amount of per week I had to take exams or within the month, it adds up and it does cost a lot. And being a first gen student, I didn't have that extra money. I was saving my money for the next quarter. And also too, I was budgeting as I was working on a very tight budget. So I end up accessing a lot of my resources, my supplies at the resource centers. And I highly recommend becoming really close to the resource centers at your schools because they're there to support you. They're there to help you in your educational goals. So for instance, I got close to the Cross-Cultural Center at Cal State LA. And at the Cross-Cultural Center, they supply students on a weekly basis school supplies. So you can come in and pick up a free Scantron for the week or a free blue book or pencils and paper. You can do a certain amount of pages for free for printing. And I began to do that because it helped me in order to bring down the cost of my indirect costs for my books and supplies. Another example of indirect cost is transportation. And transportation, let's be honest, everyone, you know, the cost of gas is going up. It's really pricey right now. And a way to make transportation a little cheaper is one, it could be taking the bus. So for instance, I know with LA Metro, they have a student pass. You can get a student pass and have a limited amount of rides for the month. And it's a much affordable price and versus paying for the gas. Also too, if you are planning to commute to school and you are planning to drive, just want to note is that you do have to budget within your budget a permit in order to park on campus. Now, of course, you may park outside of campus, but also just want to let you all know, like sometimes there may be street cleaning on certain days, or also too, you know, just coming to campus well in advance in order to find a parking spot. I know some of my friends in college did that. They like would arrive 2 hours prior before class in order just to make sure they find an ideal parking spot. So they didn't have to pay for the day or pay for the parking permit for the semester quarter. So again, those are examples of how to bring down the cost for transportation. Or maybe too, I just want to share is that like, I know when I was attending my grad school program, they had, I was able to get a sticker for my Muni Pass, which again, it's a bus pass, onto my ID. And it was a discounted price for my bus pass, which was like unlimited amount of rides around the Bay Area, around San Francisco. So that also helped me in bringing down the cost for transportation. I know some students also decided to do Uber and Lyft now because I know Uber and Lyft has their own monthly passes in order to bring down the cost to commute to to someone's location. So again, those are just things you're just going to have to look into to see which one best fits yourself in order to bring down the cost. Now, personal expenses, I do want to just really note this as well, because personal expenses, I think students often forget, something I had forgot about, but personal expenses is so important because, like, for instance, when I was attending grad school, you do need a budget for instance, like shampoo, you need a budget for toothpaste, budget for soap, just different various things that you need in your day-to-day life. And it is so important to really just remind yourself to add this to your budget because it's important for your well-being. Again, like for myself, when I was in grad school, sometimes I just needed a self-care day. And so I budgeted on my budget plan that I did face masks on Sunday, and I went and purchased a couple at-home face masks. But again, like it's important to have this stuff on an Excel sheet or just on a Word document and just putting every month, like this is how much you need. Is about budgeting. And indirect cost is what you can like have a little wiggle room with. Again, when we talked about just how to bring down the cost of it. Now, the cost of attendance formula I want to go over is direct cost. Remember, the direct cost is what's paid to the school plus indirect cost. Indirect cost is your transportation, books and supplies, personal expenses equals your cost of attendance. Now let's go over what is FAFSA. So FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. Now, why do I need to complete the FAFSA? Well, the FAFSA is essential to complete to determine your financial aid. When does it open? FAFSA opens on October 1st. It is important to apply as soon as possible. Now, I do want to just note here is that the California Student Aid Commission, CSAC, has released a couple of days ago and made a statement that FAFSA and the California Dream Act application, which we'll be discussing in the next few slides, the deadline has been extended to April 1st, 2022. So it's been extended to April 1st. Now, historically, the FAFSA the deadline is March 2nd. That is the priority deadline is March 2nd. But again, there has been an extension given. And as the California Student Aid Commission has announced, they extended to April 1st. So if you have not completed your FAFSA, you still have time to complete your FAFSA for a priority deadline. I recommend contacting your college counselor for more information. Also, too, on the link tree that I'll be providing at the very end, it's going to list all the resources that you need around FAFSA, as well as for the California Student Aid Commission. And I do want to note here, FAFSA is free. I want to say again, FAFSA is free. You do not have to pay to fill out the application. FAFSA is free. Now, also too on FAFSA, when you fill out the application, you will need to create a FSA ID for yourself, meaning student, and parent. And that FSA ID is going to act as like your signature at the very end when you submit your application. Now, the FAFSA is something that you will need to do every year. So for instance, my seniors right now, you have filled it out or currently filling it out for attending college in the fall. And you're going to have to fill it out again your sophomore year, your junior year, your senior year. If you decide to go to grad school, guess what? You're going to need to fill it out again. So the FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid, and it is essential to complete to determine your financial aid. Now you may ask, there are 3 ways you can fill out the FAFSA form. 1, you can fill it out online, FAFSA.gov. You can fill it out on your phone. There is an app called My Student Aid app. And honestly, the app is very user-friendly. I used it for the first time last year when I was working with one of my former students, and I was a little hesitant filling on the app because I was a little leery. I was like, okay, is the app going to be as user-friendly as the online version? Honestly, the app was user-friendly. So again, that is a new thing that FAFSA has as an option. And then also too, by mail. You just download the PDF version and fill out the form. I do just want to make just have a little announcement on this, is that this option will take the longest. So just FYI, if you do decide to fill it out by mail. Now on the FAFSA. The FAFSA determines your EFC. Now, some of you may have heard about this. So the EFC is the estimated family contribution. Colleges use this to determine how much financial aid you would receive if you attend their college or university. Again, EFC stands for estimated family contribution. So colleges use this to determine how much financial aid you would receive if you were to attend their college or university. So I know, like I said, I'm throwing a lot of different terminologies around and talking about the definitions, but I really do feel like this is very important to have this foundation, because when you go into college, there's, you have to do FAFSA every year. And when you talk to financial aid, when you talk to your financial aid office, it's important to just know the terminology when they talk to you. Now, determining the financial need. How is your financial aid is calculated? So it's going to be cost of attendance. Like I said, we went over cost of attendance, which was direct cost plus indirect cost equals cost of attendance, minus expected family contribution. That is your EFC. And that is determined from your FAFSA. And that equals financial need. So again, cost of attendance minus EFC equals your financial need. So let's talk about a little bit about the California Dream Act application. I know we discussed it a little bit, but we're going to go more into it right now. So When does it open? So the California Dream Act application opens on October 1st. It's important to apply as soon as possible. The California Dream Act application has also received the extension as CSAC has announced. So again, if you need assistance in filling out your CADA, I really recommend to contact your college counseling office, contact your college counselor at your high school, and so they can provide you more information. Also, too, I recommend checking out Immigrant Rising's website, their Instagram. I really like this chart because they talk about who's eligible for FAFSA versus the California Dream Act. Immigrant Rising, I'm a huge fan of. They give tons of resources on the website around fellowships, internships, about DACA, about mental health, wellness. They have Wellness Wednesday, Zoom where students can join. So again, I recommend just checking out Immigrant Rising. I also have the information about Immigrant Rising on our link tree that I'll be sharing at the very end, where you just click on it and they can provides you tons of information. And they have a huge database of scholarships. Now, the CSS profile. Now, again, also too, some of you may have heard about the CSS profile through your peers, through your college office, at your high school. So the CSS profile is used by colleges and scholarship programs to award institutional aid. You can check with your colleges to determine whether they require the CSS profile. I did link again in the link tree which colleges and universities that use the CSS profile. So again, on the link tree, we'll have this information. So what's the difference between the CSS profile versus FAFSA? The FAFSA is free, like we discussed. The CSS profile does have a small fee. The type of aid, the CSS profile will be institutional. FAFSA will be federal and sometimes state and institutional aid. And then the CSS profile administrator is College Board. I know some of you, my 9th graders, 10th graders, 11th graders, 12th graders may have a College Board account. So if you have taken any AP exams, if you signed up for the SAT, College Board. So you may have an account already, so I recommend checking out College Board. Also, to the administrator for the FAFSA is Department of Education. Now let's talk about scholarships. And scholarships is a huge topic that I know, again, like I said, we want that free money, right? Just getting that free money so that we have little to no debt. So here are the list of opportunities right here. So colleges offer opportunities. So college and universities offer scholarships in departments, student associations, clubs, honor rolls, and alumni associations. So for instance, in your department, let's say you are in the fine arts department, that department may offer 5 scholarships every year to students. And that may mean you submit a portfolio, that may mean you do have a performance, like you record a performance of yourself. That may be that you do an essay, that may, it just may look differently. So for instance, I know some students have like, have done like, for instance, like performances, like perform a classical piece on the piano, and they had themselves just record it and then they sent the video over. It may be that you submit a portfolio of all your paintings and your drawings, or it may just be like a small essay, a 500-word essay. So again, college universities offer scholarships in their departments, also to student associations, clubs. So for instance, I was part of various clubs, and I know within the clubs they offer like small scholarships. They may be ranging from $100 to maybe $1,000. They could be a little higher at times, but just know that every little bit of money does matter and does count towards the end goal in order to have that little to no debt for college. Also, to honor rolls, sometimes you may be offered scholarship opportunities if you have meet the dean's list. I know when I was part of Cal State LA, my alma mater, if you had a 3.5 and above, you can join the honors group. So which meant that you can receive a small scholarship every year. Alumni associations. So for instance, I'm part of an alumni association, and alumni association does offer scholarships every year. They're $1,000 scholarships. So again, I really do recommend just accessing these resources at your college, asking about your department about these opportunities, asking within the clubs that you decide to join, also to asking your academic advisors, your professors, if there's any opportunities that you can apply to for scholarship opportunities, as well as getting involved, I like to say, just on your college campuses, whether that be with like for instance, like on your high school campuses, there's like ASB. So maybe there's, for instance, for your colleges, they also too may have that. So also two student unions they will have on your college campuses, whatever that may look like. Just please get involved and just ask folks around, is there any scholarship opportunities that you can apply to? Next, there are scholarship websites. There are scholarship databases online that offer a list of opportunities. So I did link that in the link tree. There's like, for instance, FAFSA, which is the National Scholarship Directory. They have a list of scholarships. So I recommend checking that out. And then there's community organizations. Sometimes community organizations, nonprofits offer scholarship opportunities. So I did link some organizations in the community. For instance, like there's Posse, there is Hispanic Scholarship Fund, there's Point Foundation. There's a huge list of scholarships that of nonprofits do offer, foundations offer, and I do recommend just checking out all that information that I did share in the link tree. Now, towards the ending, I just want to discuss in the last couple of minutes is the cost calculator for US Fire. Now, you're going to be as a senior, and if you're not a senior, this is really great information to know, is that you're going to be getting financial aid. You're going to be getting award offers. And these award offers is going to be talking about the breakdown of how much each school is going to cost. So US Fire does have a really great resource and app where you can compare the cost of each of your colleges that you have gone into. It's very user friendly, and you just put the information you got from the offer letter, the award offer, onto the calculator, and it will show you what is the breakdown and comparing each school that you got into and which one would be the best fit. Now, right here, I just want to definitely have a review for the very end of this presentation is that, again, this is an example of award offer. So the estimated cost of attendance is for the school is $44,000. Again, our direct cost would be the tuition and fees. Again, direct costs would be right here. We see housing and meals, which is your room and board. And then we see some indirect costs, which is your book and supplies, transportation, and miscellaneous. The miscellaneous is sometimes it's called personal expenses or miscellaneous. Then we see right here some free money. Again, we love that free money. We see the Pell Grant. We see, again, another grant right here. We see some scholarships as well. And then also too, we see federal work study. That is something that there's a question on the FAFSA saying, are you interested in work study? Please put yes. That is basically, that's a great opportunity because you get to work, you work on campus, so you wouldn't have to commute outside. On top of that as well, they work around your schedule as a student. So it's a really great opportunity. If you are interested in learning more about everything we talked about today, because I know it was only half an hour, but this information that I provided you all is a foundation of everything we need to know when it comes to just navigating the resources, right? Just trying to figure out like where to find the information and what does this term mean and what does that term mean and what's the definition. So I do recommend just pulling your phones and just scan the QR code so you can get the link tree. It has tons of resources. Again, all information and resources is here to help you in your educational journey. And I just want to congratulate each and every one of you for just taking this step. It's really exciting. And I do want to thank you all for having me here today and talking about financial aid. And I look forward to just seeing where you all go. So congratulations and thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.